everybody's golf.
Hey guys, this is Nate Hale here with the Rapscallion Brigade. We're going to play a little bit of everybody's golf tonight. I think this is going to be kind of a half let's play, half review. I'm just going to go through some of the things that I've been playing over the past day or two with this game. I will say this, right now you're viewing this footage in 1080p because that's all that I have the capability of capturing. But I've been playing it since I got it in 4K and even HDR, and it actually looks really good. Now, you know, the character models are cartoony. All of the Hot Shots games are that way. But one of the things I like about Hot Shots, and I've been playing golf for a long time, and I enjoy golf, but I really like golf video games. And one of the things I like about Hot Shots is how realistic the courses look, and how realistic, well, I say how realistic the physics are. If you're not playing with some of the off-the-wall rules, or like the Tornado Cup and things like that, then the physics are fairly realistic. But this game looks amazing in 4K, and it's, you know, the courses, the trees look real, the water looks real. It's a little bit, it may be a little bit stylized, but I'll tell you what, when I first loaded it up, it reminded me of the first time I played the Dreamcast or the PlayStation 2. With how, you know, the graphics remind me of that first time you see a PlayStation 2. Now, looking back now, it looks grainy compared to today's HD visuals, but you got to remember on that on those old tube TVs we had, the PlayStation 2 and the Dreamcast, that was really the first time we'd seen graphics that crisp, and character models and cars, and you could see the pavement on the racetracks and the racing games. You could see the grooves in the pavement for the first time, and that's what this game made me think of as far as the way it looked when I loaded it up in 4K. I got that same sense of wow from everything being so crisp. This game is mostly, I think it's designed mostly to be online. There's a single player component to it where you're going to unlock courses, and you're going to play different tournaments and different versus matches. But I think most of what they're trying to focus on is the online stuff, and that was a worry of mine because I have DSL internet and it's slow as Christmas. But I actually played some online tournaments today and did a few other things online, and it worked really well. I was excited to see that I could go online. We're just going to play through. Let's see. Let's look at the. Sometimes there's no difference in these. Sometimes you got to look at the type of cup. We'll do this one. We'll do this 9-hole. There's a really detailed character creator in this game. You can pick just about every aspect of what they look like and what they're wearing. One of the things about this game that's different from some of the other Hot Shots games is the way that you progress. You know, in some of the other Hot Shots games, you defeat a character in versus mode to unlock them, and then you can play with that character. But in this game so far, it seems to be that you can use that character's look or that character's accessories and clothes and things, but as far as your progression or getting better, I like the way this game does it. You don't just get characters with higher attributes. You actually build up your own abilities. So each club that you use, like with my driver here, every time I get a perfect impact or I make a good shot, it'll actually increase my stats for that particular club. So if I'm able to get a pretty good shot or put good spin on a ball, it'll increase that stat. And I can tell just playing in the past day or two that when I first started playing, I wasn't really hitting the ball very far. This morning I was online and I was noticing just about everybody was hitting the ball a lot farther than me. But after I played a few matches, played a few rounds, and increased the stats on my driver a little bit, then I actually got to where I could hit the ball a lot farther. And it increased a lot and really quickly. So one of the problems I'm having here is I don't usually talk the whole time I'm playing this game, so I'm probably not looking as good as I normally would. Let's see if I can do this. So the shot mechanic is your normal 3-click swing. You push the X button or cross button on the DualShock 4 controller. You push the cross button and you start the meter going up. You stop it where you want to set your power, and then you try to hit that impact right on the white line at the bottom. Let's see. Now, I've got to allow for the lie. See, the ball's a little bit above my feet, so it's going to go a little bit left, I think. Let's see what we got here. See what that looks like. I put a little backspin on it. Right now my backspin is not very strong. Still working on that. But you see what I did there. Every time I hit a good shot, it'll give me some extra power, control, backspin. Because I hit the green, it ups my control stat. Because I hit it past a certain percentage on the strength meter, it gives me the power stat. And because I put some backspin on it, every time I use that backspin and hit the impact at the right spot, then it'll increase that stat too. So it's a pretty neat way to do it. It's a pretty cool way to advance your character. You feel like you're growing the actual character instead of just trying to unlock new characters or just buy new equipment, just buying better clubs. You feel like your character is progressing.
Pretty good. Quite thrilling.
This course is the second course on the game, and it took me forever to unlock it. Had to get through a couple of ranks before it unlocked the course. Perfect impact.
Amazing.
I know there's a lot of people that really get into golf video games that don't play golf in real life. And I enjoy golf. I worked at a golf club for a few years, and I got to play for free. I guess that's the only reason I really got into it as big as I did, because I didn't have to pay for each round. Golf can get expensive.
Sloping down.
You can see how you read the green there. You got the dots running across. And depending on how fast those are going, that kind of gives you a hint as to the undulation of the green. Try not to misread this. Looks like it may be barely downhill. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Thank you. Sometimes I think I completely mishit it and it falls in, and sometimes I think I got it perfectly and it'll roll out and it'll ring out. I'm currently at rank 3. It took me a while to get to rank 3, just playing rounds over and over and over, online and offline. The only way to unlock new courses is to play offline, and it won't let you play, if you're online, it won't let you play any course that you haven't unlocked in your single player game. So that's kind of weird, because it takes so long to unlock the courses. That's odd that you can't play them online until you've unlocked them. So for a lot of the day today online, I could only play one course because I hadn't unlocked any new ones yet. Let's see, this is a par 5. Should we go for it in 2? I don't know. It's a long way up that hill. Let's try.
Nice shot.
See what happens. It's not bad.
Whoa.
It's a long putt, though. I'd rather chip from this distance than putt.
Sink it. A break to the right.
If you've played any of the Hot Shots games and you are used to that control system or the way those games feel, you probably will you'll feel comfortable right away playing this game. It feels just like the PS2 Hot Shots. I don't know. That wasn't that good. Yeah, it didn't break at all. I thought it would break a little bit.
Could make a birdie.
Now, even in 1080p, you can see the blades of grass there. It looks pretty good, but I'm telling you, in 4K, it really pops. It is. It's not as detailed. This is when I loaded this up to record this footage. This is the first time I've played it in 1080p. I've been playing it in 4K, and it does not look as good in 1080p. I can tell you. And I know you probably say, well, it's kind of a cartoony game anyway. I mean, how good can it really look in 4K? But if you notice the trees and the grounds and a lot of the buildings and things, they're not as cartoony as the characters are. So they're a little bit more realistic looking. And in 4K, you can see all those individual leaves on the trees. It's pretty crisp. One of the things about this game is you've got, just like the others, you have different style clubs and different style balls, but there's only 2 balls that you get that are infinite. That's the standard ball, that's what I'd usually play with, and then the beginner ball. But there's other balls that you can get that increase different stats, but they're not infinite. You can use them up. So if you have like a pinhole ball or a ball that adds some spin abilities to your stats, then you play around with that ball and then you lose it. Even if it's not like you lose one if you hit it in the water or anything. You play around, you lose that ball. So you have to either purchase more balls or earn more balls. So I just stick with the standard ball, and that way I don't have to worry about losing it. I'm usually a lot better at that. I think it's because I'm trying to talk and play at the same time that I'm just not concentrating on the meter. See, the ball's a little bit below your feet, so you adjust just a little bit, and really it's hard to know how much to adjust, but it's like I say, from this distance I would rather chip putt almost, because at least you can get it airborne and you don't have to read all of the curves. You just kind of read what's closest to the pin there. A little bit uphill. Oh, that's not good. See, I thought I mishit it. When you hit it, when you stop the meter to the left, your ball goes right. When you stop it to the right, your ball goes a little left. And sometimes I think I missed that one, and then it ends up going in. So that was a good chip in. Now, if I had been putting from that distance, there's no way I would have made it, because you saw the slope there. I would have had to do some serious green reading, and then just get lucky. That's another difference in this game from the others, is that the courses, in other Hot Shots games, if you've ever played one, each hole is kind of a stage unto itself. And so it'll load up the hole, and all you can see is that one hole. It looks kind of like an island, and then there's just nothingness on the outside of it. This game, it's an actual complete open course that you can see the other holes. You can, if you mishit it, the ball will go over onto another fairway sometimes, and you'll have to go over there and hit back onto this hole. Right now I'm playing through a 9-hole round, but here in a minute we'll go online and you'll see that you can just walk wherever on the course. You don't have to play around. You can just walk around, play the holes one at a time. You can drive golf carts around, go swimming, fishing. I haven't learned how to fish yet. See, the way the game does it is you have to be taught how to do something. So I had to learn how to swim, and then I had to learn. Somebody taught me how to drive a cart, and then I could drive the golf carts. Let's see. Put a little backspin on that. But once you learn the new abilities, then you have another activity you can do. So you can drive a cart around. You can fish. I've seen some planes flying. I hope that's something I can eventually learn how to do. Is somebody show me how to fly the plane, and then I can fly over the courses. Let's see. All right, so I'm in the sand. 70 to 90% of whatever I stop the power meter at is what the ball's actually going to fly, because I'm in the sand trap. Which, that's a big range. It's hard to know where to stop it when it's that wide a range. Let's see. We'll just do that. How about that? Oh, I think we were robbed.
Hey. Careful.
You can do this. Take your time.
Take your time, read the green. It helps to maybe like envision the ball rolling and kind of follow those dots, and you kind of get an idea of where it might go. Even then, I mean, you can study it and study it and study it, and it'll still, sometimes it just won't do what you want it to do. How about that? That's another neat thing in this version. And I think this is a new thing. I've never seen it in any of the other games, but you have an extra layer of control, so that if you set the power meter a little higher than you thought you should, on the way back down you can press circle instead of X, and it'll take a little power off. Or maybe you tried to hit it as hard as you could, you missed it a little bit. On the way back down you push the triangle instead of the X, and it'll add a little power to your shot, and that gives like an extra layer of control over what you're doing here. All the other games, you have just one spot. It just loads up and you're on the tee box, and you just hit it automatically. But here you have the tee box, and the reason it has this, you'll see in a little while, is that when you're walking around an open course, you just walk up to the tee box, and that's how you start that hole. But I like the fact that you have the use of the whole tee box. You can walk over here. This is a much better angle for this fairway than right over here or even in the middle. So you can kind of decide, well, maybe I want to get a little extra, a little better angle on it. So I come all the way to this side and see. Look, if I'd been standing even in the middle, I'd have been looking right into that tree there. It may still hit that tree. Let's see.
Cool.
Very nice.
Nice shot.
I love that camera view. I wish I could set it to that all the time, but it does a different look every time you hit it, and I think it's based on some of the different shots. But it may just be cycling through them. I don't know, but I love that one where it kind of follows the ball out. So even in 1080p, that water looks pretty good. I mean, in 4K, it looks like a real pool of water. And I mean, that's pretty realistic looking there, but it looks even better in 4K. I wish I had the equipment to capture the footage in 4K. And see, I've got my 3-iron here. Now, I mentioned earlier that when you use a club, it increases the stats for that club if you hit a good shot. But that's one of the things that I like about it is that if you use sorry about that. If you use a 3-iron, it'll increase the stats for that. But you may have your stats up for your 3-iron, you may decide, I think I want to work on a different club. Well, you might go to the 5-wood or the 4-iron and use those clubs just to try and get all of your clubs stats up. So if you find yourself in some situation where you need it. And I experienced it earlier today. I was hitting a shot. See, when you increase the stats on your clubs, there's less, so you get more power. You can hit them farther. The backspin obviously is the harder backspin, but when you increase the control stat, there's less variables when you hit a shot. So if you see, I played most of the morning and increased the stats on a lot of my clubs, but then I hit a shot one time with a club that I hadn't really used yet, and it wasn't as reliable as my other clubs because I hadn't practiced with it. So that kind of encourages you to use all the different clubs in your bag. Sorry, I was thinking about what I wanted to do here. Let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. See what happens.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Now, it's true, if that was on a real course, that ball would have rolled past or lipped out of that cup. It wouldn't roll around like that and get sucked in, but see, and even when you're playing your single player, playing the round, you're not on the open course mode really, but even then your character still walks to each hole. Par 3.
Cool.
Sometimes you hit that, sometimes you miss that center white mark and it just barely moves, and sometimes when you miss it, it goes way off. I haven't figured out yet what's causing that, or if that's kind of randomized or what. Let's see what I got here. I didn't hit that hard enough. I'll tell you what I did right there. I forgot, I guess it's because I'm trying to talk, but I forgot to look at the bottom right of the screen there where you see the 79 to 90% there. It was like 60% when I hit that shot. I forgot to look at that at all, and I set it for the distance for the flag, and you see what happened. I went right in the sand. So there is a lot, even though the game's easy and it's kind of arcadey, there's a lot to think about if you want to be successful at it anyway. If you want to get some good scores, score low. Yeah, that made it for it, I guess. I'll take a par.
Nice par.
I haven't played an online match with anybody else yet. I played some online rounds where it put me in the rankings. Of course,
It's par 4.
just starting the game, my character is not real built up yet. So every time I was getting my ranking back, it was like ranked 65 or 40 something. Some of the courses some of the holes I was ranking in like the 140s because my character's not really all he needs to be yet. And see, that's way uphill. I did this earlier today. That's way uphill, and that looks like, oh, we can make it. But if you aim right there and try to make that, you're going to be in the water. So I like to just come over here and do this. Play safe.
Beautiful.
And that's the thing. I mean, if you understand, I don't have to hit the ball as far as I can hit it every time. It's more about course management. So you may not need to hit your driver all the way up as close to the green as you can get. Like I said right here, if I was trying to get close to the green, I'm liable to end up in the water. So why not just come down here? Look, the ground is flat or flatter. It makes for a little easier shot. Yeah, it's a longer club, but you have more control over what's going on. Try to pay attention to the wind. I might put a little extra on this one. Oh. And see, that time I hit it way off. It didn't go that far off. But you remember on the last hole, it went way to the left, and I didn't even miss it that badly. Now this is where I'd rather be chipping, because I could get over this steep slope close to me, and I could land it on that flatter ground closer to the hole. Let's see. That's a pretty good. That's going to turn pretty quick. I don't know. We'll try it. See what it does. I don't know. I'll take it. I'll take it. See, that time when I set the power, it was a little. I thought maybe that's a little too much. So on the way down, I decided, all right, we're going to push the circle instead of the cross button, and that took a little bit off of it. Turned out to be the right decision. That's just that little extra layer to the control scheme. Now they'll walk. You can skip that walk to the next hole if you want to.
The
But
finale. Hold on.
sometimes I'm reading the scores or the standings there. Now when you're teeing off, well, any shot really, you can push square before you shoot. You can get yourself some extra oomph on it. When you do that, it increases the chances of missing the shot or mishitting the shot. This is a par 5, so you don't necessarily. And if I had a little bit more strength in my clubs, if my character was built up a little more, and I was trying to go for the green in 2, I might need that extra 10 yards. But as it is, I mean, I'm going to take 2 more shots after this anyway to try to get to the green. So I'll just try to place it right in the middle of the fairway. And I hit it too hard. See, that's another thing I forgot to do. I was standing on that tee box. It was high above the fairway, and I did not account for it being so far below me and going that extra distance. Now look what we got here. If I hit this 3-iron, now when I'm on a real course, these are the kind of shots that I love, because you got nothing to lose. I mean, if you hit a bad shot, what were you expecting? You're off in the trees. But if you hit a good shot, it's just that much more awesome. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. Maybe I can go. Look at that. Let's see. Think I can get up over that? I'm asking you like you can talk back to me right now. It's not a Twitch stream. I don't know. Let's just go over here. And I'll just kind of put it out in the fairway. That's probably the smartest play. I mean, if I, like I said, if I was on a real course, I would haul off and hit it and just go for the green. And if it mowed down a tree on the way, then so be it. But I may have to play for par here. And that's not gonna be good. Turned out all right. You got a little bit of wind. I mean, it'll affect it a little bit when you, even with your shorter clubs. Let's see, a little bit uphill. What's that gonna end up looking like?
Good aim.
Not bad.
Careful.
Now I can do that in real life about 1 out of every 50 times. I know how to hit it. I just never do it right.
That's hard.
All right. Let's save that hole, I guess. At least I don't have any bogeys. Okay, we're finished with that 9-hole round. And you get, after every round, you get some different items. You get different accessories to decorate your character, and you get some stat upgrades sometimes depending on how you played. This just kind of keeps up with some of your records for each course.
Nice.
Here's the items we acquired. Like I said, a lot of this is just cosmetic. We did get a few coins for that round. But there's a lot. There's so many. We may go into that in just a second. There's so many options for how to dress your character, or even the shape of your character. You can pretty much make your character look like whatever you want him to look like. I didn't spend a lot of time in the character creation. I think I picked the hair and the clothes, and that was it. So, and this is the home world, and this is kind of your main hub. You got your online stuff over here. You can go in here and play an open course, and that's where you can just walk around the whole course or choose to play around. And over here you got Turf War. Turf War is pretty cool. I say it's pretty cool. I haven't played it yet. I've read about it, and I've had it explained to me by the game, so it sounds like it's pretty neat. I just haven't played it yet. But you have 2 teams facing off against each other, just running all over the course, trying to score as many points as they can, and then whoever scores the most points on the most holes has the most holes at the end of the time limit wins the round. So that's pretty neat. And like I said, I had to get to a point in the game where they technically they didn't teach me, but the guy had to teach me how to drive a cart. So you add the ability to push triangle, and you can drive the cart around. And you have Just this little thing. I mean, this looks good. The water looks good. The boats look good. It looks even better in 4K. I know I've been saying that every time I say something about the graphics, but if you have the PS4 Pro and you have a 4K TV and you like golf or you're a Hot Shots fan, you got to see this game in 4K. Each of these people here will give you different hints about the game and tell you different things. This guy over here, he gives you quizzes about golf rules and about other Hot Shots games. You can go ahead and take a quiz, and he'll give you an item if you pass his quiz. This is the stage where your match play opponents show up, and it's set up like as if they're boss characters. So you play the tournaments. Excuse me. You play the tournaments, and you get points, and you build up your experience there. But once you reach a certain EXP, versus character will show up, and that's kind of like the boss character, and then you play them in a match play. And so once you've defeated a certain number of characters of a certain rank, you move to the next rank. And so it's a neat way to level up, and it doesn't give you the option to just play whatever you want whenever you want. You kind of have to do it how the game steers you, and that's okay. You can come over here and go to the menu, or you can just push the options button. But I'll show you real quick. Let's customize our player. You can edit the character, which is the facial features. You can do the eyes, nose, mouth, hair. Give him facial hair, make him bigger, smaller, whatever. Male, female. You can choose a character to start with. So if you don't want to start from scratch, you can choose any of the hundreds of characters that you collect. You can just start with them and then tweak little things about them. You can copy a character over. So we're going to edit our character. We can choose this one. The sheer number of things you can change is crazy. But if you look at the fashion, you have all these different options, and this is almost like a completely separate little mini game to choose what to wear out on the course. But there's way more that you can get besides what's here. I haven't been playing the game very long, and you can get new items all the time. And some of the online stuff is kind of daily tournaments. So these particular items will only be available for today. And so if you want those items, you need to play those daily tournaments. Let's go online. Let's see if my internet will hold up. And I'll show you the open course. The Eagle City Golf Club is the first one that you have. You don't have to unlock it. It's just it's ready. It's a cool little course. And you see here, this particular course is set up like this. You got regular tees. Of course, like any normal golf course, you got your regular length tees, long tees. And in everybody's golf, you have different styles of cups. You have the regular cup. You have a miniature cup, a really small cup. Then you have a mega cup, which is obviously a lot easier to get the ball into. And then you have even like a tornado cup, or like a cyclone cup, I think is what it's called. And that is actually, anytime you get anywhere close to it, it'll just suck the ball in. So those rounds are very easy. So we'll go to the Eagle City Golf Club with the mega cups. The game will give you tips between rounds or as you're loading things up, but a lot of the things that I've read I already knew from playing the other Hot Shots games. I do like this feature. While it's loading, it lets you practice the power meter there. Get it just right. I say get it just right. Sometimes I do. That's a neat little feature. There you go. There's a perfect impact. So you get that little shot practice. And then when it's finished loading, it just goes to it. Now see, that's what I was talking about, the difference in this game and the other Hot Shots games. The other Hot Shots games, each hole is completely secluded from the others. You play that hole and then it goes blank and it loads you up on the next tee. But in this, you have free reign. You just roam this course. Starts you out over here by what I would say is probably the pro shop there. And you just start walking. You push square and he'll run. You push cross and he'll jump. Now these are people in your gallery that you actually collect when you're playing the rounds and stuff. You'll collect more people to go into your gallery, so they'll follow you around when you're playing and clap for you and encourage you. Now so you can go over to hole 10. So we're on the back 9. We chose to do 9 in, so that's the back 9. 10 through 18, that would finish up the round. You can go to hole 10 and go to that tee box, and it'll ask you, do you want to play hole 10 or do you want to play all of them, all of the back 9? You could choose that, or you could just go to whatever hole you want to play. This is what I was saying earlier, why you have this kind of tee box area. You can go to that hole and you can just play this hole, and then when you're done with it, you go back to your free roam. This guy over here, Hanzo, playing a match. He's playing around. Or she. Looks like a she. Is it a she? But that's an actual person. Anybody with the name above them is an actual person. These are just NPCs here. But you can just watch them. Like you'll see. You can stand here and watch people come by and play their rounds, or you can meet up with some people and play around with them. You can jump in the water and swim. That's not deep enough yet. Now it's deep enough. Now sometimes you'll find coins or balls off in the water. If you roam around the course, you'll find, we may see some when we're playing in just a little bit. When you roam around the course, you'll find presents, you'll find coins, different styles of chips that offer different abilities. When you get tired of walking, just hop in your cart. You got kind of normal driving controls. Pull the right trigger, that's your gas. Got an e-brake. I mean, it's not the most realistic golf cart physics or anything, but it's pretty fun. Just a little side thing. You don't have access to that when you first load the game up. You have to get to a point where you unlock that. Now, if you're driving by in a golf cart, you could miss some things. A lot of times you'd be going so fast that you may not see something that would have been a collectible. You might miss a coin or a gift. And so sometimes it's better just to walk around. And when you're online, you build up your stats too. So let's just play this one hole. I'm gonna set up right here. Let's play hole 14. If I take this angle, so you could go around the left side. If I had more power on my club, I could go on down there and have an easy second shot. As it is, I'm just gonna stay on this side of the tree. I'll take a little bit off of the driver. Gotta hit it straight though. Gotta hit it straight. That
Careful
was
of the
bad.
gauge.
That's alright. Alright, you see the ball's above my feet, so I gotta account for that. I'm looking down at the bottom right, 83 to 90%, so I may want to take another club with a little more length. I also have the wind in my face, just a little bit, 2 miles an hour. Let's see. I might put a little side spin on this to try to get it to curve around this tree here.
Nice shot.
See if we can do it. It's not too bad. I'll take it. When you have the Mega Cup, you can be kind of
Downhill.
a little bit looser with your
Right to the left.
reading the green and your long putts especially. You got a lot bigger cup. You can see it up there. Well, now you get perfect impact. I needed that on the drive.
Way to go. Way to go.
So see, we're done with that hole, and since we chose to play one hole, now we're back to free roaming the course. I haven't found yet, I don't think there is voice chat. When you're online, you have these different things you can do. You can greet people in different ways, clap for them, different things. Even put a custom message in there, but I don't think you have voice chat. I haven't seen it yet anyway. I was trying to find some coins or something. Here they are. Here's some coins. And you spend those coins. I mean, you earn coins when you play a tournament or a match play match versus match. You earn coins, but you collect them on the course. So you can spend those in the store, buy new items. See, I just picked up that ball there. All those little extra treats. You don't know what it is yet. You just go. There's a coin. And it's cool. I did this earlier. Look, here's a present, and these have different things in them. So that's a hairstyle. You can actually, if you're online, you don't have to play around. You can come over here and get in the get in the bleachers and watch people. You can just sit here and watch people come by and play this hole just like you were at a real tournament. Jump out of that. I said this would be kind of a let's play / review, and I'm just mentioning things as I see things on the screen that come to mind, but the mechanics in this game are really tight. It's really fun to play. If you like golf video games at all, then you got to get this one. And I'm looking forward to getting some people over to the house and maybe playing some local multiplayer, meeting up with some friends online. Here's one of those chips. Turf War Warp Metal. So in the Turf War, when you're playing it, you have to play the hole, score as high as you can, and then you have to run to the next hole. And you're running all over the course trying to score as many points on as many different holes as you can so you can claim your turf. But you get one of those warp medals and it lets you just warp directly to whatever hole you want to go to. Some holes will have more opportunities for scoring than others. When your team splits up and decides how they're gonna attack the turf or try to claim the turf, there's some strategy to it. So it's a pretty neat thing. All right. What else? I can return to the home area. Now the versus matches has sometimes you play with the normal golf rules, but sometimes there'll be extra hot shots rules. Sometimes you play a match that doesn't really matter about the score. It's more based on points. Sometimes you'll play a match where if you take longer than a certain amount of time to hit your shot, you lose a stroke, and that kind of forces you to think on the fly or move a little quicker than you might be comfortable with. Let's come over here and look at a versus match. Now I just entered rank 3, so this is the first person to show up in this rank.
Hiya.
Some of these people that you play against are so funny. I'll give you a little bio. Once you beat this person, you can copy them to your character. So you can start with that and then change the hairstyle, change the clothes, if you see one of these characters that you like.
Right.
Usually each of your versus characters has a particular trait that's like their thing. So she says, "Oh, come on, hardly, but hey, enough of that. Did you know I can hit homing balls?" Homing balls are unlocked at rank 3. So I'm just getting started. As you go through the rankings, you pick up new abilities, new equipment. Obviously, the people that you're playing against are better golfers as you move up the rankings.
About the venue.
So right here's your rules for the match. So we're going to play on the Alpina Forest, 9-hole out. That's holes 1 through 9. The regular tee. And he's going to mention too probably the Mega Cup.
The cup.
Yep. And you see there the mirror is off. And that gives a little bit of variety to the game. So each course has the original and the mirrored version, which everything is backwards. And it really does feel like a completely separate course. You can see that this is a points match, and they're kind of explaining that. If it happens that if we both birdie a hole, it goes to the points, which that's sometimes interesting, because earlier today I was playing a match and I was doing better than the other guy, but he wound up chipping in. He didn't hit the green in regulation, but he chipped in for birdie, and his chip in got him more points than me actually hitting the green in regulation. So he wound up winning the hole even though he tied. And even though he started off worse than I did, off in the rough, he wound up with more points because he made a good shot to finish it up.
Good luck.
So you get points for hitting the fairway, hitting the green in regulation. You get more points for a longer putt or a chip in. So you never know how that's going to go. You can change a caddy. Got a few different caddies so far. You can You can unlock
with you.
more caddies as you go. Over here on the left, you got different club options. I have not even used the Infinity Club yet. I might check that out. And then these are some of the different balls that I've picked up. So you got the side spinner ball. See, I own 3 side spinner balls. So if I were to play this round with that ball, I would be down to 2. Sand Viper. Allows for fine-tuning power. I'll stick with the standard ball.
Let's go. I got this.
A lot of the times, like the quiz that I took back in the home world, the hub, it was just basic golf rules and golf terminology and things that I knew. So a lot of these things that the game is trying to teach you, if you're not a golfer, you don't know much about golf, that's okay. The game spends a lot of time in these different ways teaching you about the game of golf and the rules of golf. So you don't have to be a golfer to get into this.
Hole 1. It's par 4. It's our turn.
Match play is a little different. You don't both go at the same time, and you don't just go by your strokes like you do in a tournament. When you play match play, you win or lose the hole or tie the hole. But when you're doing this style where it's a points match, you rarely ever will tie a hole, because even if you tie, say you both par it or you both birdie it, the points are sometimes different. So, and see, I have more points. I've got 50 points for hitting the fairway. She doesn't get any points because she hit it in the rough.
Our turn's up.
Let's see. I think I can curve it around that tree. Not like that, you won't. It might come back. That's all right. I'll chip it in.
Okay.
She might chip it in. Ooh.
It's close. It's our turn.
That's right. It's my turn. Show you how it's done. Get in the hole. Nope. Too hard. Now see, I got a little bit cocky there. That's my fault. I should have won that.
It's a good start.
She probably won't miss that either. So
Calm, cool, collected.
anyway, we're running on right at an hour here, so we'll probably wrap it up. This is the first time I've done one of these like this. Normally I do the VR videos, and they're scripted, and I edit the footage and try to keep them kind of succinct and mention specifically, you know, like I said, I kind of type up exactly what I want to mention about each game I do for the VR Addict reviews. But this was a little something different. I mean, I'm not going to be able to play through this whole game and edit it and tell you everything there is to know about it in time for a review when anybody's still interested in it. So I thought we'd just play through a little bit and talk about it while we played. We'll finish up this hole. Maybe. Wind at my back.
Sweet shot.
Put a little backspin on it. Oh, slow down, slow down.
On the green.
Caddy knows. And see all those people running there? That's folks in the gallery. And when you play matches or play tournaments, you pick up new people for your gallery. It'll follow you around the course
Keep an eye on
and
that
cheer
gauge.
for you.
Hey! Where'd it go? Stay put. Sink this and we win.
Sink this and we win. Let's win a hole before we get out of here. Why not? Uh-oh. Take a little off. Get in the hole. Oh. Now you saw that. You were watching that. That thing was supposed to curve. Miss it.
You've got this.
Now see there, I accidentally pushed X. And as long as you don't push it that second time, it'll reset for you.
You're doing great.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to
Par 5.
watch this video. If you have stuck with me for the entire hour here, thank you so much. If you have comments about this game, or you have a favorite game in the series that you like, if you've played this, let me know what you think about it in the comments. Or if you would like to, if you'd like to meet up online and play a round or two, then comment or message me your PlayStation Network name, and we'll get together. We'll play. I'm just excited to have a game that I can play online. I don't play a lot of shooters online because my internet is so slow and it lags so terribly. But this game is perfectly suited for my slow internet. But I appreciate you taking the time. I won't play through this whole. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and I hope you enjoyed it. And we might be doing some more of these long session reviews for some other games in the future. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.